I don't know. It was a good. It was good writing today. I enjoyed that.
I did too, man. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thanks for coming.
I'm like a pizza. Call and I show up.
What? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ira's been delivered, hot and ready.
Damn right. The hot stays hot and the cold stays cold.
You got to do one Mel Tillis for us in this thing. Hey, welcome to Twang Town. I don't know. I sound weird today. I feel like I sound weird. Do I sound weird?
No, you sound great, man.
Today.
Welcome back, kids. It's David Tolliver and
Colt Mirsky.
Or Tall Brewski. I don't know.
Tall Brewski.
Yeah, we're here again. This is our what?
This will be episode number 7.
Episode 7.
Wow, that's my lucky number.
And we have
That's why you're
today
here.
in the studio Mr. Ira Dean.
What's going on?
What's up, Daddy Bear?
Man, just enjoying the day. It's nice. I went hunting this morning and then came and wrote a song with you. We wrote a smash.
It's really good. I'm really happy, but you can turn me down a little bit if you need to. Am I too loud?
Turn him off.
You just turn me off.
He's always turned on. He's hard to turn off.
I feel like I'm so loud in here, but it's like...
No, you're not as loud as you are out of pitch, but...
He's just being serious.
What was our duo?
Flat and Sharp. Hey, I'm Flat and I'm Sharp. We're going to form a bluegrass band called Flat and Sharp. We're going to go.
I think we should do it.
We're going to be huge in Valentine, Nebraska.
We should do it. So
Come on.
Ira's a very, very, very wonderful songwriter. He's been one of my friends for many years. We've shared a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Coffee together.
Yeah.
I don't know. How'd you get here?
To Nashville?
Yeah.
I was a maintenance man in North Carolina at the Elizabethan Inn Hotel, and I got electrocuted.
I can't tell if you're actually serious.
I'm dead serious. I was a maintenance man at the Elizabethan Hotel in Manteo, North Carolina. I got electrocuted, and I realized I was a shitty maintenance man. And I went to my brother, he lived in the trailer next to. I actually lived at the hotel, and we played beach music there. And I was like, I'm going to go to New York or L.A. And he goes, how much money you got? And I was like, nothing. And he had like $300. And he's like, how about Nashville? And we rented a trailer. After we rented the trailer, he had to leave his fish tank out in the yard and give the fish to the neighbor. And he had a cat. He had 2 cats named Alex and Eddie Van Halen. And Alex had 3 paws, had an arm missing. And we got... This is all true. And we got in the...
He should have been named after the drummer for...
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard, yeah.
Rick, whatever his name
Allen.
is. Rick Allen. And I once caught a fish this big. And so I came to Nashville in 1990. And I was playing the Bell Cove Club for $30 a night and all the beer I could drink, which was cool because I was underage.
Yeah.
And I was paying $200 a month. We got this house. I was paying $200 a month for the couch. And
wow, it's an expensive couch.
Yeah, and I was getting ready. Well, we had the house, and I was getting ready to go back to North Carolina and beg for my job back.
Yeah.
And I became friends with Johnny Cash's son, John Carter, and he just called himself John Carter. I didn't know it was Johnny Cash's son at the beginning. And I was gonna go. I was telling him I was broke, and we ended up playing a little bit together at Bell Cove Club, and he said, "You need to stick it out."
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And he goes, you can stay. You can just crash at my pad if you want, if that'll help, kind of thing. And I was like, blew him off. And long story short, I went over there for lunch, and I never left for a year.
That's right. You lived with Johnny Cash.
Well, I stayed there. I wouldn't say lived. I kept my luggage in my car.
Yeah.
I had a Chevette with no floorboard in it.
Nice.
That's a true story too. And it's cool if you're drinking and driving and you get pulled over because you just pick the floor mat up and you put your beer on the pavement and put the floor mat back over it, get your ticket, and go on.
Get your ticket.
Yeah, get your ticket from what I read. And so I went from paying $200 a month for a couch to staying in the round bedroom at Johnny's place. And then, he had houses in Bon Aqua and Tampa. And so I kind of just moved around from house to house. And then Johnny had a house on 16 acres across the street by House of Cash, and he let me have that to stay in, and he charged me $300 a month, and all the utilities were paid, everything. So that was heat, phones, everything. And I don't know if I ever even paid rent once.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
You became pretty good friends with Johnny.
Yeah,
right?
I spent every Christmas with him in Jamaica. Everyone I could go. And yeah, I was really, John was like my dad. I remember playing him a song one time that I wrote, and we were at the offices at the House of Cash across the street, and he's like, I really like that song, son. Hold on. And he picked up the phone, and Alan Jackson was on fire at this time. He called Alan's home phone number and talked, and he goes, Alan, I'm sitting here with Ira, and he wrote a wonderful song, and you need to listen to it, possibly cut it. So he's talking to Alan.
Shit.
Yeah.
If you're Alan Jackson, how do you say no to Johnny Cash?
Yeah, but it was a piece of crap song. But John...
He's throwing you a bone, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and he called Waylon for me to play bass for Waylon. Of course, I didn't get the gig. But I went out on the road with... the matter of fact, there used to be a studio down the road from here called LSI, and we all hung out in it. It was a dirt. It smelled like nicotine and dead dreams. It was horrible.
That's the name of an album right there.
And I would go there because they had catering for the players, and I didn't have that much money, so I would like follow John Carter around. Matter of fact, I went to college with John Carter. Everybody thought I was in college. I would just take notes for him. But
So you didn't go to college?
I didn't go to college
You went to
there.
college
I went
for
to Southern.
him.
I went to Southern Illinois, but I still run into people and they're like, "Oh, we went to college together in Tennessee." I was like, "No, I was just in there with John Carter taking notes for him because he'd be high." Oops, did I say out loud? That was back in the day. And so I would go to LSI because they had catering for the players. And I was 19 years old, I think, at the time, maybe 20. And I never forget, I was eating a tuna fish finger sandwiches with the crust cut off and some chicken wings.
Yeah.
I didn't know Johnny was there cutting a record. And Johnny walks out, and there I am, and I got busted eating the food, and I was embarrassed. And so he sat down, and he's like, "Where's your brother?" And I was like, "He's at home, and we're talking." And I remember saying, and maybe I was cocky, or I think I was embarrassed he caught me, and I was like, "So when are we going to write a song together? When are we going to go red and record something?" That's the first thing that came out. And he goes, "Well, how about now?" And he picked me up by my shoulders. I had a tuna fish sandwich and a chicken wing. He walked me into the control room. I'm 19 or 20 years old. And there's the Carter family doing backgrounds. There's Anita and June and everybody. And he moved June and Anita out of the way, and he put me right in the middle. And he said, "June, show Ira the part." And he walked in the control room, and I'm out there with the Carter family learning this song. We cut a song called... we did a remake of "Don't Take Your Guns to Town," and then we cut... When he brought me in, there was a song called "Put It in God's Hands." And they showed me my part. I was singing it, and the engineer was named Mike Daniels. And Johnny's back there, standing up there, giving me the thumbs up. And I was scared to death.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine.
And the engineer goes, "Somebody's singing a little pitchy." And I said, "It's probably me because I'm scared shitless." And Johnny fell on the floor laughing. And he was, and then that was off to the races. Then, I was in the family.
Dude,
Wow.
I knew that you spent a lot of time with him, but I didn't know the origins of the story. I didn't know that you met John Carter first.
Me and John
amazing.
Carter. Matter of fact, I'm getting married at Johnny and June's house in Jamaica because I have so many great memories there.
My invitation must have got lost.
Dude, I'll send you one.
That's fine.
I'm already.
No,
I'll send you one.
No, I don't want to come to your wedding. I don't want to buy you a gift.
John
It's fine.
Carter got the license on the internet that he's going to officiate the wedding. So he's flying out. He's like my brother. I love that guy. He's the reason I play bass.
Yeah.
I came to town as a drummer.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then we were at Bell Cove Club, and the bass player didn't show, and I had my drum set up, and John knew I played guitar and bass and everything, no piano. He said, "Get up and play bass." I said, "Man, I'm a drummer." He said, "We can do the gig without drums. We can't do it without bass."
Yeah.
And I said, "I've never played in front of anybody before." And he said, "Well, you know how to play."
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was really weird not having drums in front of you. When you got drums in front of you, you're not like, you feel naked when you're standing out there. When I got out there, it was like, I never wanted to play. I never played drums again. I was like, this is my place. And then it's so I took the bass so quick, and like 5 years later, I was in Bass Player magazine.
Of course. 5 years.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 years later, I'm like in Bass Player magazine as one of the bass players to watch coming up, and I'm like, if they only knew. And they're like talking about me going to college for music, and I did, but as a drummer. I never told nobody. They're like, "So you learned bass?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did."
Sure did.
Yeah, 3 years they threw me out of Southern Illinois.
Next subject.
Yeah.
Jesus. So I met you when you were the bass player.
Yeah.
In a I guess it's a trio.
Yeah.
Was it a trio?
Yeah, it
a
was
trifecta.
Trio. Well, it was a
Triso?
It was an 8-piece band if you count all of our personalities.
Yeah.
but
Buzzing.
But yeah, Trick Pony was
Trick
great.
Pony.
I have no hard feelings. That was a great time.
How did you guys? How did that start out? How did you and Heidi and
Keith get
together?
Keith was playing bass for Joe Diffie. I was playing bass for Tanya Tucker. We were playing Jamboree in the Hills in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh.
He came up to me, and I always dressed like I dressed back then, like Huggy Bear. I always looked like a pimp.
Yeah.
And
You did look just like a pimp.
I did. I looked like an albino pimp. I was the white Rasta. So he dressed like a cowboy, and he came up to me and he told me this whole idea. And at that time, there was no trios. Dixie Chicks weren't out yet. And he's like, I got this idea. Like, you dress like you, and I dress like me, and we'll find a girl, and we'll have like everything covered. And we'll do a trio, and we'll do like country Fleetwood Mac. And I laughed at him. I said, that sounds like the Village People. All we need is an Indian and a cow, a telephone repairman, and we'll be golden. So I blew him off. Then I got fired from Tanya playing Arlington, Texas at the thing they got there, Six Flags or whatever it is. I'm on the back of the bus, which is really lonely when nobody's talking to you because they all knew I was fired.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, I need a gig. So I called Keith and I said, you still got that? You still want to do that idea? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, man. And so that's what started it in 1996. I got fired from T.
And so you guys started that thereafter.
Yeah.
When did you get signed?
We actually had a different lead singer, and we got signed to Arista. Tim Dubois over there loved us, and then that fizzled out because our lead singer went solo without us knowing.
Do we know who that lead singer is?
Amy Daly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she signed over
used
here.
To be here, yeah.
Yeah, she signed over here without us.
I had no idea.
Without us knowing. We cut our sides with Amy Daly, and then it was back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And
so you got dilly-dallied.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wow.
Everything works out, man. And then Heidi was parking cars at South Street or whatever that place is down there. And anyways, Keith's ex-wife had a girl party over at Keith Burns' ex-house that his wife took.
There's a lot of exes.
Yeah. And then Heidi came to the party, and then back then everybody carried a tape, man. When he came to town. Yeah. And so Keith's wife said, I think I found your singer, and gave him the tape. And it's really weird because we were walking up, we were supposed to meet across the street, and we're walking, and I see Heidi. I knew Heidi from a long time ago. She was dating James T. Horn, who was on Curb at that time. And I met her because I was playing for James T. Horn way back in the day.
Good.
And she's like, oh, I'm Heidi. And I was like, yeah, I remember you. And she's like, I'm the singer. And I was like, no way. And so we sat down and we played, and I was like, I think this is going to work.
Yeah. You guys I remember you coming out, and I'm like, good God, this is so different and so cool. And I remember you riding that big upright bass across the stage.
Yeah, with headlights in it.
Yeah.
Heidi was getting all the attention.
Yeah.
And it ticked me off because I was over there playing my butt off, and I wasn't getting no attention. So I bought a metal bass, and we were playing the Wild Horse, and I stole 2 par lights out of Wild Horse. I was living in an apartment off of Nice Drive that's now a whole Hispanic neighborhood. And I went home with a jigsaw and cut holes into my bass and put headlights in it and wired it up. That's one thing I learned from being a maintenance man is how to wire stuff up. And I didn't get electrocuted this time. And I wired the bass up, and I brought it to the gig. And that thing, then I started getting attention. Yeah. I was like, okay, she's getting too much attention. I hit the button.
It made a thing. It made a thing.
It was great.
Heidi had her deal. You were your guy, and Keith was the weird beard cowboy.
He had a nice butt.
Yeah.
From what girls told me.
His beard never changed.
It looked like coffee grounds. It's like he dipped his face in coffee grounds. We called it the Richard Marx starter kit.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Hold on to the beard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. So Trick Pony went on for quite a while. You guys had a bunch of success. You were out with Brooks and Dunn.
Kid Rock.
Toured
a bunch.
Yeah, man.
In 2000, we did 323 shows.
Oh, my gosh.
We went out after Christmas, and we came home right before Christmas.
Wow. That had to be rough.
That's insane.
I was just happy I wasn't a maintenance man. I was just loving life. I was like, I'm not wearing a hairnet, and I'm not getting electrocuted. This is great.
Life is good.
Life is good.
So Trick Pony, you guys finally, I mean, as all bands do, eventually.
We divorced. Yeah.
Divorced.
The sizzle fizzled out.
I mean, the Rolling Stones are still together, and Aerosmith's still together, but, you know, the majority of them, they part ways. So you focused a lot on songwriting then, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, well, I always wrote through Trick Pony. I wrote 8 on the first record, 7 on the second record, and then by then there was some issues. You know, then I was getting mailbox money, and it kind of became a problem.
Yeah, it happens.
And then I was getting outside cuts. I had a Gary Allen and a Chris Young at that time, and it was getting to be the topic of conversation all the time with us, which got ugly. And Heidi got a solo deal, and then I signed a developmental solo deal, and then I don't know what Keith did. And then, you know, and I just been writing.
He did Burns and Poe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
And then
Burns and Poe.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I ended up over there writing for Sony, and then trying to do a development. They wanted me to do another band. I remember that, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Wow.
a duo, but not a trio or a band.
Flat and Sharp.
Flat and Sharp.
Flat and Sharp.
We're going global.
2025. y'all.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Wide.
Yeah.
Valentine, Nebraska. You're next.
I feel like we could sign at Curb and just be on the label forever.
Yeah, you could.
Sure.
Why couldn't we do that? Is that possible, Colt?
There's always a possibility.
Flat and Sharp.
You know,
So,
I have a funny story about you guys, and it's
Oh, no.
more or less with Heidi. So you guys signed at Curb in 2005. And that's when I first started.
Okay.
So that's why I probably never really got to know you guys very well, just because I was the intern, and nobody cares about interns, you know.
everybody loved you.
Everybody loves interns.
Yes.
But at that time, 12th and Porter was like the hang.
Yeah.
That was like pre-Tin Roof, you know.
Wait a minute. Was I there?
Well,
Did I get hauled off?
no, you were fine. This is the
Oh,
thing
okay.
that I experienced with Heidi. So also at the height of 2005 was MySpace. So, you know, that's like the first real social media platform that everybody started really connecting on. And you know, you heard of the movie Catfish, you know, where the guy, there's like a fake girl involved
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Manti
So-
Te'o,
Yeah.
he got catfish.
So I started, you know, obviously following all the Curb acts and stuff like that, and I followed Heidi's MySpace page, or I thought it was Heidi's MySpace page. And so, like, I'm pretty sure one day she reached out to me and was just started talking, like, "Hey, you're at Curb, blah, blah, blah. So nice to meet you, blah, you know, I'll see you around the office every now and then, blah, blah." Oh, yeah. So we just had this friendly banter back and forth for a while. And then Trick Pony was playing a show at 12th and Porter. And so I was there, and I knew you guys were going to be there. And so I'm sitting at the end of the bar, and I'm just talking to whoever I'm hanging out with. And you guys walk in, and then she's with someone. I don't remember who, maybe her husband or a friend or something. And they sit down at the other end of the bar. And so I was just being cool, being chill. And then she turns and looks at me, and we lock eyes. And so I'm like, I'm like, "Hey."
Here's my moment.
And she looks at me, and she's just like, just this horrible look on her face, like, who is this asshole waving at me? And she just turns away and then gets up and walks off. And I was like, man, weird. I mean, we have been talking on
Yeah.
MySpace. You know, I thought I would get a little friendlier reception than that. So go back to like MySpace, whatever, like, "Hey, saw you at the thing." And she was like, and then all of a sudden, like, it just started clicking. Like, this person's story was not the same
No.
experience I was having. And I was like, holy shit, I've been catfished. But at the time, I didn't even know catfish wasn't even a thing. I was like, oh, I'm not even talking with some wacko weird super fan that just is imitating Heidi.
You poor
Oh,
thing.
no.
You poor kid.
That happened
But
to
it's
me
fine.
with Sammy Davis Jr.
We're fine.
And I realized that Sammy had been dead for a long time. And I just realized I was a dumbass.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
Man, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. But I was just like, oh,
Well, you're not. It wasn't your fault. You're not Heidi.
Well, I feel like I'm still in the band. I got to take the blame for everything.
no, y'all had some weird wacky super fan who was pretending to be Heidi.
We still got some. I mean, we had some great fans, but yeah, there's some that take it too far.
Yeah.
Man,
We had like Grateful Dead fans that would like pack in Winnebagos and follow us from town to town.
Oh, wow.
Which was cool because we
Yeah.
always had a built-in fan base, but
Yeah.
it was kind of weird. I was like,
It's-
don't these people have jobs?
It's funny when you're in like Colorado and you see one person that you remember from other shows, and then you play in Key West, Florida, and they're there again.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you do that?
Yeah,
For one,
and then you
and
realize
why
they
are
want to
you
wear
here?
your skin.
Yeah.
I want to just cook you dinner and wear your skin. Okay.
Put the lotion in the basket.
Where's your great big fat person? Reports are ocean orange skin. Anyway, so songwriting. I know you've had some big cuts, and one of our brothers, Eddie Montgomery,
Yeah.
and Troy, God rest his soul. I know you had one in every crowd.
Yeah, they were really, man, I had 7 cuts with those guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had one in every crowd.
How did that song come about? Because that is perfect
That was
for them.
That was me, Eddie, and Kim Tribble wrote that at Eddie's house, and me and Eddie.
In the Kentucky house?
Yeah, in the
Like
Kentucky.
the one we shared the bathroom in?
Yes.
Oh, God. Bro, we played this golf tournament. We played Eddie's golf
No,
tournament.
not that.
Not that house?
No, the house.
The old house.
The one on 500 acres with the spitting
Yeah.
alpacas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't realize that was a true thing until I walked up and was like, check out these alpacas. And I went, and I was like, I thought that only happened like in children's books.
Yeah.
And I was like, all over my chest, this grassy colored,
Cud.
like somebody put a frog in a blender and threw it on my chest. It was nasty. But anyway, that's a true story. I was like, dude, you got alpacas? And I was like, I'm going to kick your alpaca in the Johnson. So we were writing.
God.
We wrote a bunch of songs together during that time, and we were talking about when we grew up playing clubs, because I started playing clubs when I was 12.
Yeah.
And my mom would have to walk me in. I'd do my homework at the table, and then on breaks, and he kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
His dad was a player, and
He was a drummer
Yeah.
in his dad's band. Wasn't
yeah. Yeah, and so we were talking about that, and then we started talking about all the crazy shit we saw in bars
Yeah.
that we were too young to really get, and then it just became a song. There's one in every crowd, and Eddie goes, and it's usually me, and I was like, bingo.
That's
Done.
simple,
Yeah.
simple simpleton.
Yeah,
Bringing that.
and we wrote that. It actually had like 6 verses because we couldn't pack it all in, so we just picked the best 2 verses
Yeah.
and cut 4 out.
Oh, shit.
And they went and cut it, and it was we did really well.
Good Lord.
Hell yeah. Love that.
My farm is the house that Montgomery Gentry built.
There you go.
That's what I call it.
I remember we went up and we did Eddie's golf tournament up in Kentucky a couple years, and Ira was there, and we I mean, it was ignorance. We were merry. There was a lot of merriment.
Were you
going around-
frolicking?
going
Well,
around
we had to share-
frolicking. We frolicked a lot.
We shared the bedroom.
Yeah.
I mean, we shared the bathroom, and the bedrooms were like
It was a Jack and Jill.
it was crazy.
Bro, I was laying there, and I'd never told Eddie this, but I was laying there, and I looked over, and I saw something moving. I'm like, what was that? And then I looked closer, and a mouse went right across.
No.
Yeah, dude. A little bitty field mouse.
Well, he had the world's largest Chihuahua. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
That dog named Hoss Cat that looked like a football.
Cat.
I got a Chihuahua, and he's like, "We got to get a Chihuahua like yours." And I was like, "Man, make sure it's a pure Chihuahua because you'll get scammed." Because my Chihuahua's like 4 pounds. She's great. And so he's like, "I want a Chihuahua like yours." And so he buys this Chihuahua, and he overfed this Chihuahua. It was the biggest. This Chihuahua, I'm not lying. This Chihuahua weighed about 20 pounds.
No way.
It was as big
giant.
around as it was long. And the poor little thing's legs would shake when it was holding. It's like, no wonder it's holding. It's squatting a house. And he's like, Hoss Cat wants some food. And I was like, God,
No.
that dog could just be on the loose for like 2 years and be fine.
Hoss Cat needs a walk.
Yeah. Hoss Cat you need to squeeze that poop out of that thing. Just,
Dude, I remember he played a song. Me and Eddie got drunk that one night, and we were in. He remember in his garage in his Escalade,
yes.
and he wanted to keep playing songs,
And he puts them on stun.
and it's so loud, and I was just like, man, you got to fucking stop. It's like you just
It
quit.
was-
You got to quit.
He turned it off. I felt like I was at a The Who concert. It was so loud.
It was,
My ears rang for 2 days.
and I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting there. My
Yeah,
eyes are bulging out of my head.
And what do you do? That's great. Here's another one. Okay, we were there for an hour.
We were there. We listened.
my
We
gosh.
listened to at least 50 songs.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, if he is the Escalade running because we're going to die of carbon monoxide.
Yeah. Finally, I was like, we got to stop. I got to get out.
Yeah.
I got to get out of the car. And I'm like, thank God.
I love
didn't
him.
want to
I
say
love
it.
him, but
Was it just
Sing.
like any and all songs, or like
No,
songs?
just-
Oh man, I got to get a song to the record.
Just songs he wanted to record.
Hey, man.
Well, they record.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen, man.
Oh my god!
And so,
I'll tell you what.
yeah, so he played the new album and then songs that didn't make the album. And then we listened to the album again.
Oh,
And then I got up and I said, this sounds like the same album. And I got up and walked out and left David in the car. And I looked back through the windshield and he was giving me this look of, you're a dick. And I was like, I'm sorry, man.
me.
Yeah.
and you're so drunk, like it just doesn't even make sense.
I was like, thank God he left. Now I can.
Yeah. I was
And
like, man,
after the second time of the third album, I left.
you just go, I got to pee. And I just left.
Yeah.
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 Irish goodbye.
So you also, I mean, along with Johnny Cash and we talked about your other stuff, but Mel Tillis was a big friend of yours.
I was a pallbearer in his funeral. He was
Wow.
he was my neighbor out in Ashland City, and then we fished all the time together. He gave me a bunch of Manuel coats. He had like 500 Manuel suits, and he gave me, I can't say what he said, but it was dirty. And but I've got some of his Manuels. There's not one clean. I don't have one clean Mel Tillis story at all.
There's no,
None.
because you do a perfect Mel Tillis.
He would drink Milwaukee's Best Ice because it was 5.9
Wow.
out by the can, and he would call me up at 3 a.m. because he couldn't drive me.
Hey,
You're gonna have to bleep this because I can't.
It's fine.
He called me chicken pussy.
hey, chicken pussy. Go buy me some Milwaukee's Best Ice and come over.
And so I go over. And I was like, "Why do you drink Milwaukee's Best Ice?" He goes,
That is 5.9% alcohol by the can. You chug 4 of these, I sing like Papa fucking Roddy.
I'm dying over here.
It's the ramp up. It's the ramp up that
I
gets
loved
me
him,
every
man.
time.
I loved him.
I'm
He was
crying.
great. But he was. There'll never be another Tillis. Do you know? Here's a trivia for you. I don't know if this should be in the record books. And one time, like back in Cedarwood, when Mel Tillis was writing songs and he was on fire, and Roger Miller and all the cats. At one time in Billboard's charts, in the top 100, 40 of those were Mel Tillis songs.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
40 out of the top
He
100.
was that prolific.
Yeah, he was a writing fool.
See, that's the thing about those guys, and you know, some of the guys even in our generation, you don't realize how many. Even you don't realize how many songs you've written, how many songs those older guys wrote that weren't their songs.
He wrote so many hits that he was writing for Cedarwood that he ended up buying Cedarwood, the publishing company that he wrote for.
Wow.
He bought it.
That is unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the old Kurt building used to be his publishing company.
Yeah, I remember
And that's where
that.
Bobby Tomlin. He's always like, yeah, Mel Tillis signed me my first publishing deal.
You remember when Mel? I can't even do Bobby. I don't know how
You
to do
sounded
Bobby.
more like Lance.
One more. That's Lance Miller does Bobby Tomberlin.
George Jones.
I want to. If anybody's got a picture of Bobby not smiling, I'll give you $10,000 because I think he smiles when he brushes his teeth. He's always so happy.
He's the happiest man alive.
I think he smiles while he drops a deuce.
I do.
Well, who doesn't?
I mean,
I'm happy. If
I mean,
it feels
he's just.
good.
Hey man, he's just the happiest dude.
He's the nicest person.
I know.
Ever.
I'm
dude.
old and jaded.
We are wrinkly.
Yeah. I'm going to turn into like 200 pounds of elbow skin in just a couple more years. Couple more years, I'll just be a wrinkled sack.
I'm angry at my belt right now because of my belly. I was so mad at traffic today.
Where's your stretchy pants, man?
Man,
You should just wear sweats. You should wear one of those velour like jumpsuits
You
that
know
people
that's
wear down in Florida all the time, or
Yeah,
get
or jersey.
a full-grown man onesie,
a onesie, a mansie,
a mansie with a flap
mansie.
in the back.
Dude, I usually wear I'm a big Lululemon fan. Sponsorship. Lululemon, big fan.
Yeah.
I made fun of it for years, and then I got some pants from there, and they are the best pants ever. And that's usually what I wear. But I dressed up today.
Okay,
I dressed up
I'm going
for
to tell
you.
myself, I just got my first pair of Lululemons. My
dude.
fiance bought me Lululemons, and I used to make fun of them till I put them on.
Right?
They are comfy. I'm not lying.
I've spent $400 million on Lululemon in the past 4 years.
I only got one pair. One
need
pair
to
of Lululemons, but they're good for a full weekend.
Sure are. You got to go on the We Made Too Much, and it seems like you're getting a discount, which you probably aren't.
No.
But that's where I get all my stuff on sale at Lululemon.
Lululemon.
Sponsorship, Lululemon.
Yeah.
You can buy 42 My Pillows for the price of one Lululemon pair of
You
pants.
trying to get a My Pillow sponsorship?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
We're just going to throw all of them out there.
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Yeah. So, what's going on with you recently? You did when the hurricanes hit Florida.
Yeah, I got.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because it was a badass thing that you did down there.
Man, my fiance Jennifer she's really in philanthropy work. It took me a long time to actually be able to say
Philanthropy.
it took me a long time to even say that word. She used to make fun of me. But she lives in. I met her, and she has a house in Naples. So now we have a house in Naples because I'm taking it from her. And Hurricane Ian hit, and it was. I mean, she called me. I was at Ronnie Dunn's house, and she's like, "Naples is getting hit hard." And so I said, "Hold on, Ronnie. I want to watch TV." And I turned it on. And it was like they kept showing the one footage of some dude's McLaren floating away, and I was like, I want to be honest with you. I don't care about some dude's McLaren. I was like, honey, it's not that bad. Then I flew down there to check on the house, and one block from us, people died in their houses.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 died in the elevator. They drowned in the elevator of the hotel there at the Ritz-Carlton. And so there was all these homeless people like living in tents, man-made tents. So we went and bought a bunch of bottled water, and she bought a ton of Italian food from this Italian restaurant. And we went down and started giving food and water to everybody. And I was like, I really wish I could do something, but as you know, my maintenance man skills aren't that great, and I can't build shit.
Yeah.
And I said, man, maybe I could throw a charity concert on or something. And I was thinking of a small concert. And then she calls me and she's like, hey, tomorrow we have a meeting with Hertz Arena. And I was like, what? And so I go to Hertz Arena, and it holds, like, with the stage, you know, you got to cut the back side out. So it's like 7,200 seater. And I said, baby, I was thinking like a outdoor concert.
Yeah.
You know, so now I got to think of big acts that can sell 7,200 seats. And so Hertz Arena donated the venue, and then I was trapped to put my money where my mouth is. And I told Jennifer, I was like, listen, we still got to rent lights and production and pay for even though I can get entertainers probably for free, we still got to pay for their flights and their hotels and their bus fuel and everything. And she goes, what's it going to cost? And I said, probably around $300K.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe that would stifle it. And then 2 days later, she goes, okay, we raised $700,000. Go do your thing.
Holy shit. How'd you do that?
She's great. She's she got this team together, and they started selling sponsorships to this thing. And so I'm like, okay. So I called. First phone call I made was to Ted Nugent, and he's like, I'm down, because he's got a place in Naples. He's like, he's going to do it. And then Leonard Skinner came on, and then I called John Rich and Tracy Lawrence and Gavin DeGraw, and then I wanted somebody to host it, and I was sitting there thinking, who could host it?
This killed me.
And somebody said, you know who just moved to town? Jim Brewer from Saturday Night Live.
What?
And I was like,
Goat Boy.
No
I was
way.
Like, no
dude.
way. No
Oh
way.
my God, he's amazing.
I said, he'd be the best MC, because I've seen him do MC for Metallica.
Yeah.
And so a friend of Jennifer's reached out in his DMs of his Instagram, which he never reads. It just so happens he reads it, and it's like, you need to call Ira Dean. He's putting this concert on.
Yeah.
And he gave my number. Well, my phone rings, and it's Brewer. And he's like,
Unbelievable.
He's like, I've been wanting to do this, he goes, man, if this happened in L.A., there'd be a 3-day concert and Elton John wouldn't leave for 2 days. I mean,
Yeah.
he goes, but here in Florida, nobody's helping out. He goes, I've been trying to do this. Are you going to do it for sure? And I was like, yeah. I told him all about it. He was like, I'm in. So he kind of like co-chaired it with me. He did all the interviews on the news with me and stuff. We ended up selling out. We raised $1.5 million.
Awesome.
And we profited 1.2 and change, and we gave that we kept it all in Southwest Florida.
That's badass,
So
man.
yeah,
Hell yeah, man. That's freaking incredible.
yeah. Well, it's my girl, man. She's great.
I was listening. When I go on hikes in the morning, and I listen to Brewer's podcast a lot, Bruniverse. And I was listening one day. He goes, "Yeah, man, I just did this thing in Florida. Blah blah blah." He goes, "I have my buddy Ira Dean." I'm like, "Wow, oh my god!"
Yeah,
so I text you, and I'm like, "I just heard your name on Jim Brewer's podcast." You're like, "Yeah, he's a buddy of mine. I'll hook you up next time you come down." I'm like, I passed out,
Dude, I grew up watching him as a kid, but like last time I heard him on Rogan, he's got the best laugh. Anytime he laughs, I laugh just because he's laughing, not because something's funny.
It's not fake.
No,
that's the real deal.
Dude, he's got the best laugh. If he laughs, I laugh.
when he does like Metallica.
Yeah.
The way he does it kills me. Yes.
I forgot about that.
So during this whole COVID thing, freaked him out, and he's from Long Island, and I don't think he's ever owned a gun. He's definitely never went hunting. And we were at dinner together at this place called Cosmos. If you're ever in Naples, Florida, go to Cosmos if you like Italian food.
Sponsorship.
Bam, bam. Talk to Gianluca, and so we're eating, and he's like, dude, so this whole COVID thing, man, I got to learn to live off the land. I bought a gun. I'm gonna learn to hunt. I'm gonna do all this, man. I'm gonna do it.
You sound pretty close to him, man.
That's it. He goes, man, I've been kayaking. You want a kayak, man?
That's his meter. That is his meter.
So it's I was like, you want to hunt? It's, yeah, I want to hunt. And I was like, and his wife Dee, I said, man, I'll take you hunting. And I watched his wife Dee look at him like,
who are you?
yeah. And she's like, you're not taking him hunting. And I was like, well, if he wants to go, I mean, and so I called Michael Waddell from Bone Collector, and I said, hey, if you could put together a hunt, I got Jim Brewer wanting to hunt. And he's like, Brewer? And I was like, yeah, Brewer wants to hunt. But he doesn't want to kill a deer like a turkey because, you don't get emotionally attached to a turkey. They got a nutsack on their face. It's like, they look like an alien. You could kill those and like go to Whataburger and chill. And so lo and behold, Waddell calls. He's like, I got a hunt in Immokalee, which is like an hour and a half out, TV hunt. And I was like, all right. So I call Brewer, and I said, Brewer. He's like, yeah, man. And
let's go shoot some turkeys, man.
What, man? I said, you want to hunt? Yeah. I said, okay, meet me at Cosmos at 5 a.m. in the morning. He's like, I'm going to be there. And I was like, cool. So he shows up. I said, is Dee mad at me? He goes, she does. I told her I was just going to go and see how it went. I was like, oh, you're shooting a bird. You're going to kill some. So we go. And, man, it was the funnest hunt I've ever been on because I gave him some camo, and we got him a shotgun, and Waddell speaks fluent turkey, and we go out there, and he's got a whole bit about it. It's hilarious because me and Waddell, when we hunt, it's like a sporting event. If somebody shoots something, we're like, man, you're on the board, and we're high-fiving and stuff. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, one gobbles, and I go, Brewer, you're on gun. It's your turn. And Brewer's like sitting there against a tree with his camo on. He looks like Elmer Fudd. It's hilarious. And he's sitting there, and all of a sudden this bird comes out, and I was like watching Brewer to see if he was going to do it or not. And we're like, shoot it in the head. Shoot it. And he's like eyeing it up, and he pulls the trigger, and and he gets it. And we're all jumping up going, Brewer, God, he's on the board, Brewer. And I look down at Brewer, and his hat's back like this, and his eyes are big, and he's just taking it all in like, I just killed a turkey. And so he runs out there, and he holds it like a baby. And he's like, I'm sorry, COVID made me do this. COVID made me shoot you. COVID made me want to live off the land. He's talking to this bird. And so I grab its beak, and I'm like, Brewer, you shot me in the head. And so he does this whole bit. And now, he's a stone cold killer. He killed a turkey. And now I'm trying to get him to I'm like, we can go, wild boar hunting. There's some wild boars down there, and I want to take him gator hunting. I really want to take him deer hunting, but he goes, man, I don't think that. I don't think I could do
I
that.
remember him talking about the whole going turkey hunting. I don't remember exactly, but I don't remember if it was on his podcast or one of his stand-ups or something like that, but I remember.
So has he got the bug now?
No. He enjoyed it. I mean, and then Theo Vaughn was there the day before. And
Oh my gosh.
I hung out with him. I didn't take Theo hunting. I don't think Theo's a big hunter.
I don't think he can hold a weapon.
I don't think so either.
I think the law is against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think he'll watch.
yeah, I think he'll watch. Yeah, he's a voyeur.
He is.
I'm a turkey voyeur. Gobble gobble. And
That's funny. That's the other podcast I listen to.
Turkey voyeur. Tune in next
Turkey
week
voyeur.
with Turkey voyeur.
Oh,
Theo Vaughn as Turkey voyeur.
Just watch them gobblers gobble.
Yeah.
God.
Unsolved mysteries. I was just watching the birds, and then I got the fetish.
I literally don't know what we've talked about in this whole podcast.
know.
We
but
we got everything
can't stop
covered.
laughing.
This has been absolutely. This is the hardest I've laughed in these things, which we're not serious at all. We still don't know what
I'm glad
we're
it's
doing.
not videotaped because I look like I was hunting this morning already. I'm tired.
You're doing great,
He
man.
called me and he's like, "Hey man, sorry I'm going to be late. I was up in the stand and this buck walked under me and I didn't want to disturb the peace or whatever."
I didn't want to push it, and I didn't want him to. I don't know exactly how long a deer's memory is. I think it's long. If they saw me, then he wouldn't come back. And I'm like, I'm gonna hunt tomorrow. Maybe I want to kill that thing. But
Yeah.
it was like I was like, now I ain't got time to shoot it, dress it, and go right. So I just sat up in the tree like a giant cockatiel, just waiting, going, I should be right in about 10 minutes. So I text myself, I'm gonna be 30 minutes late, and he finally walked off, and I jumped in my truck and came here.
Well, I'm glad he did. We wrote a really good song today.
We wrote a great one, man.
I think it'll be some. Hopefully, you guys will hear it before long. I would really like a cut or 14.
I love cuts.
I really do. I like money.
I've got this habit called living,
Yeah.
and it costs
I
money.
like food in my mouth.
Yeah.
Shelter.
And with these wonderful prices that keep going up, we
Yeah.
need more cuts.
Sundries. I like sundries.
Do you
I don't know what
realize
sundries
groceries
are.
has gone up 79%?
Yeah, I go grocery store.
Dude, it's no
I
joke.
do the shopping at the
I
house.
know.
It's ridiculous.
We go to Costco and like we buy the 2-pack of orange juice. It used to be like $6. It's $12 now.
Man, I just been mugging people when they walk out of Whole Foods. I just grab a muskmelon and just nothing but tennis shoes and ball cap.
Give
I
me your
run.
strawberries, hippie.
Yeah, that's it. You smell like patchouli. Give me that bag.
These aren't organic. What's wrong with you?
I walked out of the grocery store the other day. I went in and just grabbed a few things, which you always do.
Yeah.
I had one bag in my arm and it was $100.
Yeah.
I don't know what I bought.
No. It's
It was
crazy.
It was like magazines and some Tootsie Roll, and
Yeah.
it was $100.
You bought magazines?
No, I lied.
You're so weird.
Magazines sounded funny in my head.
No, he just stayed like me, stay in the grocery store and just read the magazine all
Yeah.
in there. I'll get the ice cream later. No, while I'm reading this Mad
I
Max.
just look at all the covers of the magazines and just wonder what my life would be like if I was in a magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounded really poetic, didn't it?
it's pretty.
What you got going on now? What's up in the Ira Dean world now?
Yeah, I'm probably the oldest guy with a record deal right now. I just signed a new deal. And,
did not.
Yeah, I'm like, can I be on New Faces? Can I be on Old Faces?
Old faces.
I'll be on Old Faces. Man,
Horizons.
I've been writing a lot with a bunch of my buddies, and I had this idea of. It all started with Ronnie Dunn, actually, and I didn't ask him to sing on this thing. He just heard this thing, and I wanted to write songs with artists and then record them together.
Yeah.
And so Ronnie heard this thing. He's like, "Man, why didn't you ask me to sing on that?" And I was like, "If you want to, have at it." So he took the second verse and second chorus. And then I wrote with Gary Allen, and we did the same thing. We both cut a song together, and then Uncle Cracker, we did that. And then David Lee Murphy. And then
You got to give me one David Lee Murphy real quick.
Yo, man, seriously, man. hey, this song is... We were mercenaries that day. We wrote a hit. I'm just sitting up on my tractor drinking vodka and vitamin C, man.
That's so good.
So anyways, yeah, I got the album almost done, and they're mixing it now, and I got a couple more celebs to bring in there. I'm just gonna have all my famous friends get bloody from dragging me up the hill of success one last time. And if this doesn't work, I'm gonna, I don't know, become a fireman. I got a dog. I'll buy a ladder and just do that for a while.
Go.
Dude, you deserve it. You're one of the most talented people I know. I enjoy
You don't
our
know that
friendship.
many people, then.
I really don't. But I enjoy our friendship. I enjoy writing with you. I enjoy
Brother,
making
you're
up
good.
songs.
You're family, man.
Yeah.
Anything you need, and you're good. You're talented as heck, man.
Well,
and I'm
thank
not
you.
just stroking your ego because
But you're not getting asked to
this
sing
is
on
a
the album.
stroke the
though.
ego town.
Yeah.
I'm jaded and bitter, but you're one of the good ones, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And thank you for coming in here today.
No problem. If you'll reach out on MySpace, I won't catfish
We
you.
accept my friend request.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Can I be in your top 10?
Yeah. I don't even know MySpace. That's horrible.
That's when he started talking about MySpace. I'm like, oh my God, I forget about that.
Yeah.
That was the original.
Yeah.
That was the
That was
thing.
it.
I remember being in the meet and greet line when we were out on tour with McGraw back at the 2007, and these girls came up and like, "Are you on Facebook?" And I'm like, "What's Facebook?"
Yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah, because I'm cool like
Yeah.
that.
Before
Cool.
MySpace, you just open your window and went,
What are you doing? I'm gonna watch TV. Me too. All right. Talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, Peter, man.
That's original MySpace.
Speaking of socials, what are yours?
My socials, Ira Dean Bass on Instagram. And I got an Ira Dean fan page and an Ira Dean personal page, but the personal page is, they only let you
Personal?
5,000. It's maxed out. And then I get these people going, dude, you got too many friends. Like, we're buddies. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me unfriend somebody. And then I unfriend somebody. And then they get on there. Why'd you unfriend me? So, man, I just don't do that stuff no more. You can go to Ira Dean fan page or
Gotcha.
Ira Dean Bass Instagram. Look for the one with the blue dot. That's me. And then you can go to Catfish MySpace. And you can talk to Heidi.
Dot Colt Mertzky.
Yeah.
Dot
Yeah.
Tall Brewski.
Jeez.
If we
Yeah.
offended you in any way, go to www.blakeshelton and send your hate mail.
Do we make him do the thing?
Yeah.
Are we doing the thing?
You get to spin the wheel of shame.
Okay.
What is the Jasper? Oh.
What the hell? Okay, what's the...
Did you really just ask what Jasper Newton
I
was?
know, man. I know. We just went to Jack Daniels, so I know exactly what it
Dude,
is.
if I was on acid right now, that would screw me up.
Is it not the worst, best thing you've ever seen?
It looks like some Batman episode from the 60s. What did I get?
America. What's America?
It's what people with hair lips try to pronounce America.
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 Where are you from?
America.
How good is your American trivia, Ira?
What's up?
I have no American trivia.
Well, good. You're going to excel at this.
You need to make something up.
Okay, I
wonderfully.
can.
Pick a cat, any cat.
Okay,
Did you just go? You want cigarettes on your sandwich?
there you go.
Of course, I'm not a Nancy. What?
What's the question?
Which former First Lady of the United States was the founder of a facility dedicated to helping people recover from drug and alcohol dependence?
Ethel Merman.
This feels like a...
Could you?
Nancy Reagan.
Do you never went to this place?
What?
I thought about going to this place.
What? Betty Ford?
Yeah.
Betty Ford.
Yes.
In early 1978, she entered a treatment center in Long Beach for her dependence on prescription drugs. After her successful treatment there, she started the Betty Ford Center in Rancho Mirage, California.
So what you're saying is Betty Ford partied
Yeah. In 1991, Betty Ford was awarded Presidential Medal of Freedom.
from drugs and alcohol?
Yeah.
I didn't get no reward. I didn't get no award.
She
of
was on
nothing.
them.
Yeah.
She was on them prescription drugs.
Well,
So was I. Big deal. And I wasn't even a first lady, and I don't have a place named after me.
That's the Ira Dean Get Well Center.
Yeah.
What's that Zoolander? He's like
the
Zoolander.
Center for Kids Who Don't Read Good and want to learn other stuff
Yeah.
too.
You need that for your...
Man, I want to write a book. I want to write a movie actually called Another 28 Days, because when I went to rehab, the one I went to in San Antonio, Texas, that I probably still owe money to, but it didn't stick the first time, so I think we're even.
Didn't
I
help me.
relapsed, so I don't owe you nothing.
Yeah.
The longer you were in there, you graduated to bigger rooms, and at the last week, me and my buddy had this huge suite with like a porch and stuff. I think it'd be great to write a movie about people that just fake relapsing so they can get in that big room. They just keep going back into rehab and they don't even drink.
What if
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the story of Flat and Sharp?
That's it. Flat and
That's
sharp.
where we met. That's
It's
where we
free room and
stayed.
board. The insurance takes care of it,
Yeah.
and the rehab center was way better than my place at the time.
Yeah, yeah. And you eat well.
You do eat good. I don't
eat-
like the early morning, classes.
yeah.
I mean,
The meditation in the morning.
nah, we
Over
didn't have
biscuits
that.
and gravy.
We had a guy sneak drugs into rehab, and he took them, and it was like a circle. It was like a square walkway, and he ran past my door in his underwear. And the cops chased him, and then he made another loop, and he ran by again. He goes, I can run forwards. I can go run backwards. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then the cops chased him, and he ran around again. And then he ran outside. It was like 40 degrees, and he climbed up a tree, and they're flashing flashlights at him, and he's up in this tree, and he's cut up from tree bark, and he's like, nothing to see up here. There's nothing to see. Meow, meow, meow. True story.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
So that was my rehab. It was awesome.
Yeah. Wow. San Antonio's lit.
San Antonio Starlight Recovery Center.
They frolic down there.
Where when the insane go to mingle, right there.
And ladies and
A,
gentlemen,
B, C, D, E, F, G. I can say it before I can run forwards. I can run backwards.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow. Nothing to see here.
it's gonna be stuck in my head all night long. Oh, dude! Thank you so much for coming in here. If you hear us, like us. If you don't, please do it.
Yeah.
Send your hate mail to Blake Show.
You can follow us on all streaming platforms. Rate, like, subscribe. Tell somebody. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Come on.
Drink down.
And go follow.
Yeah, man.
Go follow Ira.
I want to shoot a turkey.
Thank y'all. See ya.
Bye.